It is currently 3:30 p.m. this Monday afternoon, and I want to further the discussion over trust. Transparency is one of those factors that plays into that so-called definition of the word trust. So I felt that it was prudent to come out with a little bit more transparency due to certain inquiries that were asked of me over certain aspects of spirituality and numerology and my opinions or thoughts thereof. Now, over the last couple of years, I have experienced the transformation hardcore. This has been a process that I have been involved with my whole life. And so today, as I was setting up my props here, I pulled out my angel cards, divine wisdom and benefit cards, and I randomly chose, after shuffling the deck, one of those cards which stated action. Practical, often organized activity undertaken to accomplish something. And that is what I am doing right now. Now, furthermore, the definition to action of this card here is that it predicts a period of increased activity in your life that will lead you towards your goal. When you choose it, now is the time to act. Sometimes we can invent dozens of reasons to avoid making difficult decisions, often worrying over minor details that have little bearing on what is really important. This card is telling you that you probably already know what you need to do in order to accomplish what you want. All you have to do is get up and do it. So I am taking action in order to provide more transparency. Okay? Transparency over my transformation. I turned my back on religion quite some time ago. It served no purpose. In fact, as I put in comment form earlier today, this morning, it literally made my life hell. But then I did not realize that it was for a future purpose. And now that religion has become resource material towards understanding more about spirituality through coming back. Reincarnation. This is your connection. Okay? Now, sorry about that. Let me continue on from the previous episode. If you watched that and you watched the video that I provided the link towards, it spoke about Judas and Jesus. And, well, if you watched the video, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that is basically keeping your friends close and your enemies closer, and vice versa. This motto plays a significant role in my future video pertaining to that American history story, which involves the Lewis and Clark expedition and the factor of keeping your friends close and your enemies closer. And it really relates to the story within that video, if you watched it, pertaining to Jesus and Judas. Okay? Now, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that you will remember this when the time comes when I am telling that tale. Okay, why do I have the Ouija board here? Well, that can be one of your connections because, after all, I believe that this is not really, what urban legend has made it out to be. Okay? This is a connection to your inner self, your subconscious mind. Not your spirit, but your subconscious mind. Big difference between the organic mind and what controls that organic mind, the spirit. Okay, so I was asked in comment form whether I ever had a reading done on myself um and I have to answer honestly, no. I have never had a reading done. I've never had any kind of palmistry done. Um, no, I have never gone to a tarot card reader. Okay. I've never paid anybody for information relating to me, my future, my spirituality. I have encountered mediums and psychics in which they gave me some startling revelations, to say the least. So, apparently, this is making its rounds. To those that are on YouTube and interested in spirituality, there is this ad that is about pertaining to readings, fortune telling readings of the future or past or present, because readings involve all three. But it pertains to using pictures in order to read certain things, whether it's the future or what have you, or to even try to glean information of a person within that picture. This is no different than Nostradamus using a scrying mirror, a black mirror with a lit candle for the light, and that is how he would envision what he's seen. Um, others. Well, of course, we're all familiar with that good old crystal ball. Um, Reading palms. There's so many different forms of, possible connections to the spirit. And one form, of course, as we have spoken of, was like this book here, Messages from Michael. Now then, I have my board here. Yeah, I've been in touch with something in the past that I guess is connected with this board. Or maybe it is a past life of mine that is coming through this board. I have not been that inquisitive to find out. I will leave that mystifying. And furthermore, speaking of Michael, this is the entity Michael, okay? Not to be confused with the Archangel Michael. Although, who knows, they could be one and the same. Now, through tarot card readings that I have watched on YouTube, many a times Michael is brought into the picture basically through my so-called guardian angel Zadkiel, in which, because of certain things that have occurred in my life and apparently still occurring, of course, behind the curtains and the shadows and all that, Michael has my back. Okay, now, I don't necessarily believe in these winged people known as angels, but I'm not saying that there might not be winged people out there. Numerology. Numbers, right? Do I believe in numerology? Well, to a certain point. Yes, whenever those repetitive numbers come up, such as 444, I pay attention. And if I don't have my notes on hand, yeah, I go to the good old internet to see, what there is to say about such numbers as 444. And if it, resonates or feels right with me, I will apply it to whatever means necessary. Now then, ironically, I set this up. I put the board up here after I had already arranged this kind of stuff here. And I don't know if you can see the crystal, my little angel coin here, right? Oh, I lost the crystal. There we go. Okay, so once again, I had already set this stuff up, and then I decided, yeah, let's go ahead and throw this in as a background. Now, ironically, over here, we have 1, 2, 3. Action, right? 5, 6, 7 is my birth month and year. 9 is my spirit number. And here we have the angel under the 9. We have the action card under my birth month and year. And we have, yes, that beginning to take action, right? This is just a little scenario of how to understand some of these weird occurrences, which are signs to let you know that you need to be aware of whatever. Okay, so birth charts. No, I'm not one for birth charts. Although I do believe, they are significant, as I just pointed out there. And yeah, I'm being transparent. I'm probably putting information out there that, people could use against me. But you know what? I don't really care. Life is short. There's karmic penalties as well as karmic rewards. And people that use my information against me, you think they will be well rewarded? Yeah, think about that. So, birth charts, horoscopes, and, astrology. No, I tried the horoscope bit for a while, and it just never parlayed with me. Um, yeah, start your day off with your daily horoscope. Nonsense. No, I just, no, just never worked for me, period. So, names. How does your organic name play in with your spiritual significance? Well, let's use my name as an example. My name is Morgan, Morgan. My mother was a horse lover. Yes, she named me after the Morgan horse. I have been a workhorse my whole life. But I've also been, what do I want to say? In regality of what the Morgan horse carries, okay? Um, Yeah, I'm not a big horse fan, even though I was named after one. But when you look up the name Morgan, you will find that it means, uh, uh, yeah, born by the water of the sea. And of course, boom, what happens? People call me Captain Morgan after the so-called pirate. No, um, he's not a pirate, and that was his last name, anyways. Uh, but yeah, when I was a kid, I was a swashbuckler pirate, man, because of that Captain Morgan. Later on in life, boy, it was all about the rum, Captain Morgan. Yeah, the name has haunted me. The name has been ridiculed, made fun of, um, but it is also a name that people do not forget. And many people out there, when they hear the name Morgan, they envision my face. Whether it's from years back or current. Furthermore, I used to be a very adept swimmer. In fact, as I have told in previous past video, when I was in high school, um, our teacher slash coach, phys ed teacher and coach to wrestling and football, uh, because he was so, what do I want to say, impressed with my swimming and diving skills, because of proper form and all this good stuff. He had me take up the responsibility of training a mentally handicapped person to swim. While everybody else was, doing their games and whatnot in the water, swimming and whatnot, I was teaching. And this guy, he would not even stick his big toe in the water when I began with him. By the time I was done, he was not only in the water, but beginning that proper leg movement, the kicking in the water to propel you along. But he still would not let go of the wall of the swimming pool. But you know, we got that far, and and it is a great memory. And I've helped many uh, handicapped people in one form or another, or have associated with them and whatnot. It's part of that caregiver, being an empath that I am, and I'm becoming even stronger in that area. Now I have to explain so you can understand that it is hard to break the programming and to really understand the whole concept involved in going through the transformation and getting away with, like I said, the programming of religion. I mean, we're finding out today that even a lot of the education that we were taught in school has been false. Columbus discovering America. Okay, boom, right there. Um, and I'll leave that at that. And it's part of why I'm here today is because I'm supposed to expose stuff like this, and that's why I'm still looking forward to bringing out that American history story. Um, and furthermore, I don't even know if I'm supposed to show this or not, but don't enter into anything lightly, okay? I swear to this statement and do not enter into this agreement lightly. What you see here is my contract with the divine. I have proof to go with this over as personal proof. Of how the spirits came to me and said, hey, you already broke this agreement. We're telling you, don't do it again. Don't enter into them lightly. Because once you go onto that spiritual pathway and you start to understand more and more about karma and karmic ribbons, and that what you were taught in school, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, and what comes around goes around. And, okay, this is stuff that you need to understand, and not what you were taught through religion. This is why, though, this is another thing, is as far as people that go to that actually read fortune cards, such as myself. Basically, you enter into a whole new world, a whole new realm, and you disengage from a lot of, once again, what you were programmed with. Yeah, in the Bible it states that you're not supposed to seek out, you're not supposed to deal with the spirits. You're not, you're not supposed to partake in witchcraft and all that. And, well, once again, I have to bring up the factor that that good book has a very long history. And what we know as the King James Bible, I highly believe that is part of, it was created through that Freemason society. You have to understand, I am a rebel to all, except to the divine creator. And to me, that divine creator is not the God that we were told about. There's a lot of responsibility when it comes to entering in to the spirit realm. A lot of open-mindedness, and when you start learning about this stuff, that is when you are already taking action. And once you start taking action, there's responsibilities for those actions, because you don't want those equal and opposite reactions to come along. I guess that's all I have to say. I hope that I answered your questions. I hope it provided a little bit more transparency. Sorry for the glow right here from the light, but once again, I am a rebel. I have been defined as an indigo, which is a type of a star seed. Okay, but I've also been told that my bloodline goes back to the fallen ones. I was a rebel to those ones, and I still am.